Dear learners, I am Dr. Nabi Hassan, librarian at IIT Delhi, and today we are going to discuss about very interesting topic, which is retrieving information from e-resources and online databases. So, the lecture will have two parts. In part 1 we will be covering e-resources, and in part 2 we will be covering the online databases. So, this is my agenda of today's lecture. We will be covering in detail the e-resources and different advantages, limitations of e-resources, then online databases, their characteristics and the advantages of online databases. Then with the help of practical examples, we will be covering how to search or retrieve information using different type of e-resources and online databases. So, as you are aware that online resources always have advantages over print resources, and when we talk about retrieving information, we also include in that the searching of the e-resources and online databases as well. So, what is basically retrieving of information? Retrieving information is basically finding material of an unstructured nature, usually text, that satisfies an information need from within a large collections which is hosted on computers and different servers. So, the information needs of human is changing due to application and integration of advanced technologies. So, it is to be understood that representation, organization and retrieval of relevant information are important issues which are actually dealt by information retrieval. So, let us discuss in detail about the e-resources. What are e-resources? What do you understand by e-resources? E-resources are basically these refers to e-journals, e-books or all type of databases, e-images, audiovisual content, etc. These differ from other library material because of ease of access, complexity of the licensing agreement, confusion over pricing models, etc. These resources are available through respective publishers or aggregator platforms or through library consortia, or sometimes these are also available on multiple platforms. So, if we wish to list the e-resources, the list is really very long. You can see this slide that e-resources include e-journals, e-books, preprints, online databases, or you can say bibliographic databases. These also include online encyclopedias, dictionaries, and there may be audio or visual material, or there may be images as well. So, in fact, you can say that what is not available on internet, in fact everything is available on internet if you want to access. So, when we talk about e-resources always have advantages over print resources. So, what are those advantages? The advantages are n numbers, like e-resources have ease of access, or it is easy to download or print. They are portable, you can copy many e-resources in your pen drive and you can take it to home, you can access online easily. They save your time and they save the time of the user as well. They gives you lot of advantage of anytime anywhere access, and they can save your printing, delivery, binding or repair cost, and they also allow you remote access. means even if you are staying outside the campus of the university or college, still you can use those resources, you can download those resources using different remote login facilities. So, there are many advantages of e-resources, those advantages may not be available in print resources, but you know that everything comes with some limitations. It is not that everything has only advantages. In the case of e-resources as well, e-resources have some limitations, like difficulty in reading through devices or screen. If you are reading the e-resources or e-books or e-journals using your mobile device or your laptop, then it is very difficult to concentrate for longer hours using these electronic devices. And another limitation is that e-resources are not always indexed by all the indexing and abstracting services. Like it is said sometime that Google is covering only 15% of the total output of the resources. So, it is not covering everything. So, if the resource has not been indexed by indexing or abstracting services, it is very difficult to find that resources. Then the URL, the website address of the e-resources are also frequently changing. Then there is a change sometime in the platform as well. And moreover, when you are accessing the resources like Wikipedia or any other resource, such resource, then there is a issue of authenticity and credibility as well. Means you are not sure the information that has been posted on internet is really genuine, or someone might have fabricated that information. And also people say that the pleasure of reading is really in print, it is not on screen. And also when you wish to access the e-resources using any platform, or if you wish to access the online databases using different platforms, then you need to have the knowledge of the e-resources platforms as well. For example, the database like Scopus or SciFinder Scholar, if you do not have the knowledge of accessing these platform, it will be very difficult to pinpointedly search the result, to pinpointedly reach to a concerned document. For example, like Jamia Millia Islamia, it may be represented with the Jamia Millia Islamia Central University or JMI, or sometime the people may also be confused with Jamia Hamdard. So, it is very important to have some knowledge of these searching databases, so that you are able to identify the right person or right institution. So, let us talk about online databases. What is an online database? An online database is a database accessible from a local network or the internet, or through IP range, or through remote login, as opposed to one that is stored locally on an individual computer or its attached storage. Online databases are hosted as website or online platform and may have software as a service, bibliographic information, statistical analysis, or they may also have the full text like Science Direct. So, databases may have different features as per the requirements of the users and are organized logically using algorithms. Different machine learning softwares may also be used, or even the artificial intelligence may also be used to provide the better results. And also the databases may be free as well, and they may be paid databases as well. So, with the help of screenshot, I will be covering each of these things one by one. So, if we talk about features and merits of online databases, these databases then becomes very important, because these online databases really help us to search the information or retrieve information in a very easy manner. Earlier when we were a student, then we used to search the printed resources, printed you can say databases like Ulrich International Periodical Directory or other resources. So, it was very difficult to search those resources. Now, with the help of online databases, online searching facilities, you have all the features in those databases, like They are organized collections, content are organized in a suitable manner for carrying out easy and fast retrieval of information. Then the credibility of databases is also there, contents are reviewed by subject expert and publishers. Then they are conversational, searches are conducted as a two-way communication, and they are also known as expert system. Like online databases are characterized as expert system that provide information on specialized areas of knowledge. Then they are using controlled vocabulary. Then there is a permanence as well, means once a literature has been released online, when the contents are new, but once the content becomes old, it may be available in as archive as well. So, there is a feature of permanence as well, and databases like Scopus or any other, sometime they are keeping you update all the time as well, like they may be updated weekly, or there are some of the databases which are updating the information on real time basis. So, but databases are of different types, like they may be, there may be full text databases, there may be bibliographical databases, there may be referral databases, numeric databases, that there may be databases which may contain audio and visual files, and there may be databases which may provide you institutional information, and there may be also aggregators which may provide you some relevant information. But like in case of e-resources, the databases also have some limitations, like there may be issues related to platform and searching. The platform may not be very comfortable, like you can say SciFinder Scholar. It is not very easy to use the SciFinder Scholar if you are not an expert. So, to access a SciFinder Scholar or a database like of that nature, you need to first understand as how to access it. Then there is no uniformity amongst the databases. Also, the cost of the databases is very high, and they consume lot of your bandwidth. Means if you are accessing the databases using your institutional bandwidth, institutional internet, you need to have a really good speed. Then security issue may also be there, the data security issue may also be there. Then there is sometime compatibility issues as well, like some of the databases may be comfortable or compatible with a particular type of you can say platform, and the databases are generally available on subscription basis. Means if you have purchased the database of 2019, and if you are not able to buy it in 2020, you will not be able to access anything. It is like the electricity bill. You are using electricity and you are paying the bills. Once you are not paying the bill, you will not be able to use the electricity. So, in the same fashion, if you are subscribing to a database for a particular period, for that period only you will be able to access. Now, we will be discussing with the help of screenshot or examples as how to search, how to retrieve information from e-resources and online databases. Like to retrieve information from e-resources and online databases, you need to use some platform or some resources, like you can access the information through product platforms, you can access the information through bibliographic search databases, you may also access the information through federated searches or federated search engines. You may also access the information through a tool which is very popular now, discovery services. It may be a paid discovery service like EDS, or it may be a free discovery service like Viewfind. You can also access through online library catalogs or search engines or through meta search engines. But the most interesting and popular thing for searching the information of the library is now mobile apps. The libraries are coming up with the mobile library app, like IIT Delhi is also having mobile library app for you can say iPhone or iOS users and also for Android users. So, once you are able to install that app, you can access all the resources of the IIT Delhi or the resources for which the IIT Delhi has paid subscription cost through one single interface of the mobile app, whether this is library catalog or thesis database or full text databases or the e-books. But the frustration is that people want to find the information, they do not want to search. For example, if you are giving a keyword in Google, like any keyword, even if you are giving like Indian Institute of Technology in Google, you will find lot of hits, and the relevant hit that you are looking for may be on screen number 3, and people do not have patience to go beyond screen 1 or 2. So, in that way the users are frustrated. Instead of searching, they want to find the exact information. Here there are various tools which can help you to find the relevant information without wasting your time. Let us discuss about those tools. The first tool may be like search windows. There are various products which can help you to access the information through their search window. One of those products may be like WorldCat, it may be IndCat, which is basically catering or which is a union catalog of the holdings of Indian libraries. Then there may be Delnet. There can be another product like any search discovery services like EDS, and then you can also make use of Google's advanced search options. Then there are subject information gateways which can help you to search the information in different subjects. One such subject information gateway is Infoport, which is maintained by Information and Library Network Center, Gandhinagar. Another may be like DMOS, which is really a very popular you can say search directory, open search directory. Another is www virtual library, which is also very popular, you can say free searching directory for different resources. Then there are open access journals. There are various open access journal platforms which can be used to search relevant information. If you do not have subscription to really good databases like Science Direct or Springer Link or Wiley, then you can make use of these platform. Like this is directory of open access journals, which can provide you thousands of free good open access journal. Currently the directory may be having more than 13,000 journals which are full text freely available to you. Then another example may be Public Library of Science, PLOS. This is really very famous because the journals included in PLOS are really ranked very high, they have really very good impact factor, but for publishing in PLOS you need to pay APC, author processing charges. Then you have another very good platform, free platform for you can say doctors or medical professional, that is PubMed Central. Not only these type of you can say portals, you can also use government or institutional websites as well, and these websites are hosting many free or open access journals in India as well. One such screenshot is from NISCare, but there are others as well like DeciDoc or ICSSR or ICAR. Then if you are going to involve in research in future, or if you want to help the people that on which topic the research has been completed, then electronic thesis and dissertations are the most popular items that are used globally by different researchers or serious readers. And there are many international level projects which are offering you different thesis databases, whether it is full text or bibliographic information like NDLTD or Worldwide ETD Index or DART or our Shodh Ganga. This screenshot is from Network Digital Library of Thesis and Dissertation NDLTD, which is one of the most popular you can say a platform for providing full text access to the thesis from different parts of the world. Another one is ProQuest PQDT Open. this is also free of cost, but the most popular from the paid category is PQDT, which is Procast Dissertation and Thesis Global, which is a paid product, but it is highly used by many institutions. If you think about India, India is also having a really great ETD initiative. Shodhganga is most popular, another one is Krishi Firba for agriculture institution, and then there are many institutional repositories which are hosted by different you can say government organizations like University of Delhi or IIT Delhi or Indian Institute of Science Bangalore. This is a screenshot from Shodhganga, and this is one of the most popular ETD repository globally. Then this is a screenshot from the Indian Institute of Technology Delhi IR. It is hosted on IIT Delhi server using you can say DSpace latest edition. Then there are popular digital libraries. You will be surprised to know that Sci-Hub is currently the most popular digital library for downloading the paper. There are complaints that it is illegally hosting the papers from this different commercial publishers, but many of the people are using it. Then you have Internet Archive, which is also very popular. Our National Digital Library of India is again another popular digital library of the world. Then there are preprint repositories. Preprint repositories are actually the papers which are uploaded on institutional repositories before publication. The before publication version of the paper is uploaded, and currently ResearchGate is very popular. Then you have Academia Edu, which is also equally popular. Then this is a new initiative from India, RxIV. Then you can also retrieve or search information, useful information from the ebook sources. One such is Google Books, another is Project Gutenberg. Then you have directory of open access books, and now the video lectures and MOOCs are also becoming very popular as far as retrieving useful information from e-resources are concerned. This is a screenshot from YouTube showing a course Arpit course in library information sciences offered by IIT Delhi. So, you can access the videos, you can download the videos, you can enrich your knowledge, and this is a screenshot from SWAYAM portal on which these courses are hosted. And then this is from NPTEL, which is a basically video lecture platform and offering the MOOCs as well. EPG Pathshala is also equally important. Then this is from MIT Open Courseware from MIT platform. Then you can also retrieve information or access information from the reference sources. Wikipedia is currently the most popular one. Then you can also access the resources like Encyclopedia Britannica, which is although a paid site, but up to 10% information you can download free of cost. Then there are online dictionaries as well, which can be very useful for you for retrieving the information. Then the buzzword currently is the big data. Everyone is talking about big data, big data. So, there are basically many sites which are offering huge amount of data. So, that is known as basically big data. One such site is World Bank Open Data, then there is a UN data, then for India it is government open government data. And if you talk about like commercial sites, indiastate.com is very popular in India, which is hosting lot of data, useful data, socio-economic data. Then there are some popular citation databases which are really very popular, which can provide you the H index, they can provide you the citations. In fact, these are the databases which are helping you in submitting the data for ranking agencies, whether it is QS ranking or Times Higher Education ranking or it is NIRF. So, like Google Scholar is free of cost, which is offering you different type of matrices regarding your publications, regarding your citations. But the most popular is Scopus, which can give you the ranking of your institution as far as the total citations are received is concerned, you can see the H index of your institution using Scopus. You can also make use of Web of Science, which is from Clarivate Analytics. It is also a paid database. Then for Indian conditions, you can say Indian Citation Index is a new product. It is a database which covers all the Indian publication published from India, because there are many papers which are not many journals which are not included in Scopus or Web of Science. So, we have an Indian Make in India product. Then there are some patent site. This is a screenshot from Indian patent database, and it is from India. Then you have a Google patent search, you have a World Intellectual Property Organization site which can help you in understanding the patent database. Then there, apart from these resources, there are many other important resources, services and product which can help you searching the information, retrieving the information, or to make you or your institution visible. Like your library OPEX, library online catalogs are basically very important for the institution, because they provides you information about the holdings of your library or institution, and there are very good search interfaces in these OPEX. Then if your library website is really very useful, then it can serve a great purpose. Like this screenshot is from IIT Delhi, and the IIT Delhi Central Libraries website is has been designed using Drupal. So, Drupal provides you this type of search box which can fetch information from whole of the website using a single keyword. Then this is a screenshot from Science Direct, which is one of the largest full text database of you can say original articles, although it is very costly, but it is very useful. Then Springer Link is another important database providing you full text papers. Then as far as Indian conditions are concerned, there is a database known as indianjournals.com, which can provide you full text access to the papers published from India. Then you need to understand the ORCID as well. Now, if you are submitting a paper to some good journal, there is a requirement of having an ORCID ID. So, you can use this database to identify the people, or to create your own ORCID. Another important project or you can say product currently popular is Vidwan, which is a project of InflipNet. You can create your profile, expert profile, and that profile can be you can say reflected using IRNS platform, which is basically a project of Ministry of HRD, and it is free for the institution who want to make use of it. Then there is a product journal citation report, which can give you the impact factor of all the journal. This is also from Clarivate Analytics. Then now we are talking lot about institutional ranking, because if your institution is ranked high, you may be getting more funding, you may be getting good placement for your institute. So, you need to understand how to retrieve or search information from these sites as well. So, this is a screenshot from the QS ranking, which is the highest you can say most reputed ranking agency globally. Then this is a screenshot from National Institution Ranking Framework, which is a official ranking agency of the Government of India, and funding mostly depend upon the ranking of your institution. Then like I discussed about the mobile app, now the libraries are getting the mobile app created, so that people can explore, search, retrieve information from your subscribed or accessible resources using mobile app. So, this is a screenshot which shows that you can access the resources of a particular institution using your iPhone based app or the Android based app. So, with this I would like to conclude with the words that the e-resources, online databases and their tools, systems and services presented in this lecture are really very useful for a library professional or user if explored further, and may serve a great purpose in getting right information at the right time pinpointedly. But I would like to say that not everything that counts can be retrieved, not everything that can be measured count. It means that it is not possible to retrieve every information that is available in e-resources and online databases. So, you need to understand the e-resources and databases to really retrieve information properly, because every database or e-resource may have a unique platform. So, before I should say thank you to my learners, I would like to acknowledge all the resources, all the people, all the content providers from where I have taken help to prepare this presentation and to deliver this lecture. Thank you. Thank you very much.